We talked a lot about the whole TPUSA, the threat against Erica that forced her to not be able to attend the UGA TPUSA event. And we mentioned yesterday that there were a lot of photos and videos going around about the event not being very well attended. And I speculated yesterday, maybe it's because people are getting kind of tired of JD Vance and like his wishy-washy stance on some things. And now we have an attendee who has released a video saying that's not what happened. Here is the real deal on the attendance and on all kinds of other stuff related to that event. This was directed at Candace Owens.
Candace Owens refuses to seek psychological evaluation for her very weird, kind of scary obsession with Erica Kirk and Turning Point. Let's expel some of the latest rumors about the UGA event that I was actually at. Candace, of course, was not. First and foremost, there's some missing context here. Candace is trying to frame this as Turning Point could not sell enough tickets. Turning Point wasn't selling tickets. This was a completely free event, and where else would an organization be giving out connections to the Vice President of the United States entirely for free because they care about the youth being involved in politics? I just think that Candace trying to detract from that is disgusting to begin with. Moving on from there, another thing that of course Candace did not include or know about is that not the entire arena was available for the public to sit in. There were only specific areas that were being handed out, and that was done for security purposes as this event was heavily threatened. There were protesters all over, including one who was able to get inside. There was also one who was able to get inside back in DC, and I could tell you as somebody who was also at that one, the pure look of horror on Erica's face when a random man stood up and started screaming belligerently. Nobody knew who this man was. Nobody knew what he was doing. Nobody knew if he was dangerous. It was absolutely terrible, and that happened again at UGA, so this was a major problem. So when you are seeing photos of parts of an empty arena, that was done on purpose in order to have crowd control. In fact, I personally know people that had wanted to attend the event that got told no because it was already too full for the areas we were allowed to be sitting in. Of course, Candace doesn't know that, or maybe she does, and she's still lying to try to distort it. The next part of this is people going after Erica for saying that she was too afraid to show up because she was being so heavily threatened. I want people to understand how severe of PTSD this woman has. She watched her husband publicly get executed, so no, it's not going to be the same feelings for her versus somebody like JD Vance. And I also think that it's very funny and hypocritical of Candace Owens to be saying this. When asked why she didn't go to Charlie Kirk's memorial, she said that she was fearful for her life. Trump was there, JD Vance was there, Trump's entire administration was there, but Candace was too afraid to go. But now when Erica says she's too scared to show up somewhere, now that's a problem.
Yeah, well, she's a giant raging hypocrite is what she is.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like it's just hypocrisy is everywhere with her. It's kind of like the merch she sells on her site. Like she has the merch that says, go make your husband a sandwich or make your husband a sandwich. Has she ever made her husband a sandwich ever? Like the answer is no. I mean,
they have people for that, I'm sure.
She has a whole staff making sandwiches for everybody. I don't think she's ever made a sandwich for herself.
It's interesting, the whole crowd thing. So, I hear what that gal is saying, and that's likely the case. And then Andrew Colvett, also on the Charlie Kirk show yesterday, said that they've had this continuous problem of liberal groups swarming their ticket reservation system, and they're figuring out ways to avoid that. But essentially what they do is they go and they try to buy up as many seats as possible, and then they just don't go. That's their way of protesting to try to make it look like they don't actually have good attendance. And so all kinds of things can be true at once. But I thought that was a really interesting explanation for what was going on with some of the photos.
Yeah.
And it's true that every TPUSA event right now is being targeted. It is absolutely crazy. There's one coming up at Baylor. They're now saying that TPUSA Baylor has been restricted to only 800 seats instead of the 2,200 because they're also working diligently to pull off a simultaneous LGBTQ event on the same day and are encouraging protests. So this is exactly like this person says, it's all coordinated and it is meant to threaten and silence opposing views. That's all that this is about.
Baylor's 15 minutes from my house. And I will say that Baylor is a Christian university. So when I see that, I'm kind of like, what are you doing, Baylor? Come on. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like if anything, Christian universities should be the one who they should be embracing TPUSA. They should be wanting more TPUSA events on their campuses. And it pains me. It makes me so sad when they don't.
I know. It sucks. It absolutely sucks.
It
And
does.
I don't see this getting better. I see this
No.
only getting worse and worse and worse because Candace is not stopping. It's also not okay to wear really, really bad bras. I don't know why anybody wants to do that when they've got access to Honey Love. Why would you want to do that?
I don't know why you'd
Why
wanna
wouldn't
do
you
that.
want your
I
girls
know.
to be comfortable
The
and
girls.
supported without
Yeah.
wires, you guys?
We love Honey Love, you guys, because I mean, I won't speak for you, but I hate bras, especially at this point in my
I'm
life.
not a fan. Who
I feel
likes
like
them?
I feel like I've been wearing bras for like a million years, but Honey Love bras don't feel like I'm wearing a bra. They're still supportive, even for people on the A team. Okay. All right. But they're also beautiful. Like they're really pretty because, sometimes you just, you want to put on just like whatever. You're just like, I don't care. But these actually, you put them on, you're like, these are actually really pretty. And like my husband would be like, that's a really pretty bra. You know what I mean?
And
so
then he's
it's
like, take that off anyway.
right. So true. So true. But they're supportive and they're beautiful and they're comfortable and they have amazing shapewear too, which is also a must for women in our age group. Honey Love is an independent female founded brand created by women who actually wear what they design, which is really important because they know. They have a couple new launches. One is the crossover contour bra, which is like a wireless favorite. And it has, the molded foam pads. So it's not like, wire or anything like all that is out. You don't want to be wearing any of that kind of stuff. And then the Cloud Embrace, which is my favorite. It's like a t-shirt bra. That's my absolute favorite. I love that. So all of them.
I just like how wide they are on the back. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And the straps don't dig in.
Yeah, they're great for the back fat. I'm just putting it out there. It's true. But the Cloud Embrace is my favorite. If you're looking for one to try and you haven't tried one yet, really, really good. Plus they have, like I said, amazing shapewear. Check it out. You can treat yourself to the most advanced, beautiful bras and shapewear on the market. Save 20% off Honey Love at honeylove.com/chicks. That's honeylove.com/chicks. Do it.
Do it. Dan Bongino on his show yesterday also called this out. He was angry. We were angry. Everybody should be angry because it's not okay what's happening. Here's Dan.
If there was a definition of pure unadulterated evil and demonic-like behavior, I'm sorry, but this is it. Doxing this woman's travel. I mean, at what point, how have we, as evaporation of trust evaporated so much that this is considered acceptable amongst a small cadre of lunatics, that a woman who saw her husband, with children, by the way, who saw her husband brutally murdered on television by an assassin's bullet, is now the target of her own threats by people claiming to be on, quote, like our side? This is not our side. I don't want any part of any freaking club like that. Do you understand? I want nothing to do with it. Count me out. Not interested. No matter what. I'd rather talk to one person on this live stream right now than sit here and say I'm a part of this bullshit.
I love that.
Thankfully, we have 12 minutes in, 42.7 thousand. Filled up a stadium there. Folks, we see this violence everywhere. And this is an uncomfortable conversation to have because you can never see violence and threats to Erica Kirk or anyone else as the pressure valve, because the only logical conclusion to all of that is anarchy. Is it not? If we cannot openly talk to each other and debate these things, and this is not some effort to like virtue signal or we should just talk. That's not me. I'm a realist. I understand sometimes, especially when it comes to nation states versus each other, talk time runs out. It happens all the time. You're seeing it right now in Iran. But when we're on this individual basis, debating people with ideas, and your first response is to punch someone in the freaking or kick them in the balls or punch them in the face, that only goes to one spot. Sooner or later, somebody tougher than you is going to come along and beat the shit out of you too.
That's right.
This is not the animal kingdom.
He's so right.
I know.
He's absolutely right. There always will be somebody who's stronger than you and will kick the shit out of you. So
I just hate where we are. You know what I mean?
I know it's
yucky place.
It is interesting that you say that because yesterday I shared on our Instagram page a throwback picture of us from 17 years ago yesterday of us at the Tea Party rally. You and I started out, our site, and we were involved in the Tea Party movement, which I don't even that's fizzled, right? And like Andrew Breitbart was such an inspiration for us. I mean, I just feel like conservatism, the movement has changed. There are so many grifters, and I want to be popular people in this in this movement. They come in, and it's not like it used to be. There are a lot of us old timers that are still here doing what we do. We've been doing this for 17 years. And then there are these, listen, I know I sound like I'm shaking my rake. I know. You young whippersnappers. But a lot of these people come in and they do it for the money. They do it for they want to be famous and they want the money. And it shows.